How do you even... Medication update is that...
I would kind of like it actually. Really? First and foremost, there's a couple.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then I got obsessed, so I searched the meaning of it. I'm gonna flash it on the screen. So it's basically the same. I've been diagnosed with ASD. Hi friends, it's me again with another vlog, and this vlog is going to be about, in no particular order, about weeks on medication, being open about ASD as I heal from trauma related to being different, and panic disorder, going back to work and deciding to stay, archery and reconnecting with friends, my favorite tree getting cut, and going back to the hospital for that. So yeah, I don't know where to start. My baby! Catch! My lip is burning because of this saliva. First egg rolls I've made in my life, thanks to Angie. They're gonna be so confused. They're gonna be so confused. They're already asking who Jenica is. It looks like the McFlurry at the UAE. Making me crazy. Doesn't want to eat his food. It's clear. My sugar just took a bath. Just took a bath. Stop your feet.
You're shooting what? Why is it singed? God be blessed about the cards. We all think it.
I just had a bath. Oh my goodness, I had a bath.
Fine. I needed something, okay?
How do you even get this right? It's so difficult. I hate it. Medication update is that I feel sleepy all the time. it's to be expected, apparently, but it's just not fun. Trying to be a hype man. But I just look like a fangirl. Well, kind of. Just got home. And I got wet from the rain. Just got home from Christopher's basketball. And I'm drinking my medicine now. I feel like this vlog is going to be a bit boring. Because I just keep drinking. Sleeping. I'm drinking medicine. So sleepy. Can do this. Maybe not. I'll just sleep. Good night. Trying out a healthier meal. This was supposed to be for Christopher, but he didn't eat it. Sorry about my voice. It's just a little raspy from sleeping, I guess.
How you've dealt with it. I definitely think I will start talking to a therapist again. And it's not like crippling. It doesn't affect my day-to-day terribly. It's just like kind of lingering. If you have had experience with that, let me know like how you have dealt with it. Does it go away? Like, is it because she's my first baby? I don't know. Anyway, these
Nice tree just got cut.
Abot ka dito. Ako ay medyo mahirap yung arms.
Tingnan mo to.
Ano yun?
Nagkulatan na. Nagkulatan. 7 to 8 ako. Plus.
Wala lang, namiss na kita. Sige na.
May chismis. Oo, may chismis ka.
Kasi tawag na.
Bye, love you, bye. Hello.
So high, I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Dangerous times, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.
Kaliwa mo. Kaliwa mo, pre. Left, pre. Left. Pre, oh, yan. Lo, dito na ako.
Isang chocolate.
Thank you po. Ano shits mo? Shits talaga? Shits talaga? Saan may ako eh?
Paulit-ulit niya pa daw. Ah, wow.
Kasi naging ano siya, viral siya sa Nahuli ako sa beauty. Sarap. Ang sarap ng cookie ba? Sarap pa man din nung kinain natin kanina.
Bonding.
Sa scout. Siyempre tabar.
Kasi alam niya siya lahat ng pinapagalitan namin kanina.
Siya ba?
Oo, siya mo. Hawak niya kasi ito eh. Ito ang hawak niya, nakaganon sa kanya. Hinahabol pa rin ito, kagawatan. Alam niya siya, tingnan niyo.
And nice.
Ano, nakukonsensya ka. Nandiyan ang pagalitan, alalang ito. Ito mo, sangit mo si kanina.
Ay,
Ito, isa naman
may
nakisunta
ano,
tayo.
Oo,
my
nakikisunta
God.
siya.
May bodyguard ka.
Pero umiyak siya, tingnan niyo.
Oo nga. Ang ganda sana ng view and stuff.
Ang ganda ng view. Ang ganda. Ano mo, nagpapagi na.
Tsaka malamig po. Di ba kanina parang
Parang malamig na kami.
No problem po, ma'am.
Hindi ko alam kung makakalagin ulit ako sa... Ayun, nakalagin naman ako dito sa ano. Goods issue. Pero kung gusto mong i-test yung ngayon, pwede mo i-test yung goods issue warehouse from production line. Test yung receiving.
Mainit pa ba tayo kay Colin? Sorry.
Okay.
He's thinking, don't pressure him.
Coffee. Coffee.
It's raining. Kobe, don't go out.
You look more pathetic than
Wait.
was like 20 years ago.
So I've actually laid out a bit of a script so to not get lost so much, because I'm already aware that this is going to be a long vlog, especially since this has been a bit like 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks in my life. And yeah, I'll just start. So I've been diagnosed with ASD2, and then later turned into ASD1 when I was a child after always being in the hospital for being sick. So I bounce back and forth with the levels depending on the situation in my life, depending on the challenges that I'm facing. But we focused on the physical illnesses mostly my whole life because my dad, given the limited resources that we had then, and him being a single parent and a provider for multiple families, had to choose between the more pressing fear of seeing his daughter physically in pain than the mental or emotional state, which is of course not his fault. He did his best to support us and hope that we'd be physically able to get through school and life in general. And we thought as well that would be cheaper in the long run because the diagnostics weren't cheap. Going to the hospital isn't cheap. So we actually will never know if that would actually have been cheaper than treating whatever illnesses that I presented that week, day, month. So this is so odd to recollect because on my previous vlog I actually mentioned a bit of my past and not being able to stick to a job where I'm mostly always anxious that it's not for me or that I'd be found out to be a fraud. And I don't know, I guess I felt so relieved to find that even if that was unfortunate, it's because of masking and how tiring that is to do for autistic people like me. And you know what's odd about what one of the doctors mentioned is that, or what one of the doctors mentioned that made me feel encouraged to finally share my autism diagnosis is that I wrote it here. What if all my illnesses were caused by me not acknowledging my autism? What if all the illnesses were caused by me not allowing myself to be different to please the elitist people around me? It's also called fawning in autism. What if being a high masking autistic person did my body and relationships so much more damage than what we thought was just my body being weak and my family background, like dealing with trauma and stuff? And what if the rules of being neurotypical weren't tattooed on my head? So we've mostly been trained to behave like normal people. We would be labeled as ba't ka ganyan? Or why are you like that in English? Or ba't ang arte mo? Or why are you so over sensitive? Or why are you so you're so picky, or stuff like that. It still happens to this day. Like, for example, the food, the smell, the things that I hear, my senses in general, like when there's too much light, when there's limited light, when it's too hot, when it's too cold. Now it makes sense. But now is not the time for the what ifs spiraling. Even if those were, or those what ifs were ugly, those became my awakening and encouragement to spread awareness. Now is my chance to heal and get the proper help I need. Now is my chance to process as myself and unmask. And I'm so glad that I revisited my ASD because, fun fact, once you're diagnosed as autistic, it's there for life. So, but there are more resources now than when I was born or when my dad was born. So this is also, I guess this is also your sign to read about autism spectrum disorder, or ASD. And in the autistic community, I noted it here, it's now being recoined as autism spectrum difference. So instead of looking at it as a disorder, better way of looking at it is just a difference. Anyway, a couple of notes and definition before we move forward is that ASD is autism, like I said, autism spectrum disorder or difference. And there are 3 levels, and I bounce back and forth from being level 1 and 2, depending on my life circumstances. So it's just level 1 is it was originally called high functioning autism. So it's like you need little to no support from other people, but you still need support, like you still need, yes. And 2 is needing some sort of support, but not exactly relying so much. Like, you need support, just search it. And then masking is used to describe behaviors used by people with ASD to suppress or hide the signature characteristics of the disorder. It can also mean mirroring the behavior of neurotypical people and developing scripts that work in social situations. For example, my sister and I have different accents, and honestly, because of the media I consumed when I was younger and the people I talked to, the dancers, and my environment were mostly British and Australians, I adapted that. But because it's more accepted to have an American accent at our place and even at work, you get to have an edge if you do. It's like, I can't do it on yes, okay. So yeah, so up to this day, I practice American accents to present as more acceptable to the people around me and not always get a what? You sound so weird, or even my vocabulary is weird. So recently we've been we've reconnected with our friends from Manila, and they all know this term called smurf. So it's like you downplay your strengths and then you come up on top. But then I know that as sandbagging for some reason. I don't know. I was like, oh, a typical sandbagger. And then they were all like, what sandbagger? And I was like, yeah, And then I got obsessed, so I searched the meaning of it. I'm gonna flash it on the screen. So it's basically the same. It's just an online term right now that is really famous, the smurfing, or sorry, smurf. Oh, I'll just flash it on the screen. Anyway, next terms are neurotypical, neurodivergent, and neurodiverse. This is a lot. The word neurotypical is an informal term used to describe a person whose brain functions are considered usual or expected by society. This term is often applied to people who do not have a developmental disorder like autism, differentiating them from those who do. It is neither a mental disorder nor even an official diagnostic term. Other terms commonly used include neurodivergent, which describes someone who isn't neurotypical or us, and neurodiverse, which generally refers to differences in brain function among people diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder or ASD. And these words can also be applied to other neurodevelopmental conditions like dyslexia or ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And lastly, in my list of vocabulary that it's good to know, is fawning. So fawning, like the fibbing, fawning has been proposed as another adrenaline response to sit along fight, flight, or freeze. This is where we seek to please others and put our own needs last in order to feel safe. So it's a danger response, so it's a challenge response, stress response. So instead of fight, flight, or freeze, you fawn so that you feel safe. Mostly me. Okay, so those are the terms that are good to be aware of, like I said, if you have people around you that are on the spectrum. But yes, especially for Filipinos, being early diagnosed and trained to mask me, I hear a lot of comments about autistic people where they are usually reduced to a stereotype and get a lot of criticism from an outsider's perspective. And I'll read one that really hit the right notes from crossrivertherapy.com. The portrayal of autism in popular media. Autism has become more prominent in popular culture over the past few years. With more and more people being diagnosed with autism, it's important for the media to portray it accurately and respectfully. Oh my gosh, what is that? Unfortunately, this hasn't always been the case. In the past, characters with autism were often portrayed as one-dimensional stereotypes or caricatures. They were either savants or completely unable to function in society without any nuance or complexity. Now, the most people I resonate with that are in the media are Amy and Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. More so Amy being female and masked, and also having a PhD in neuroscience, so it's probably why she seems more put together, if that makes sense. Or Sheldon is more unmasked, if that makes sense. Sean as well from The Good Doctor is a good representation of immersing oneself into the neurotypical world. But my doctors mentioned that most people with savant syndrome usually got obsessed with what they wanted since they were young, and then they were allowed to pursue that path because it was complex, and their environment paved the way for them to be able to pursue those paths to understand the autistic person a bit more. to try to wrap this up, I am yet to find out where I'm most myself, while also being up for the challenge of immersing myself in the neurotypical world. So my first thought would be dance, since I did that ever since. Since my director would usually curse at me and shout at me, it's the only place I felt like criticisms are something that I'm grateful for, because it's a really big dream of mine. And right now, it's not something I'm actively pursuing, but I might go back to it. So, yeah, basically that's a lot that I've unpacked. I want to encourage you that if you are on the spectrum, I see you, and I want to say things like send me a message or stuff, but I actually want to be a bit more intentional. Just please expect that since I have a lot, I am very socially anxious, that I might not respond immediately, but if you wanna chat or whatever, you can leave a comment here on YouTube or leave your Instagram handle, and I'll send you a message, or just send me a message to either of my inbox, either the @gravydayvlogs on Instagram or Owl's Grace. So I'm just gonna leave it in the description box below. I hope you have a great day, and I'm getting really perspired because this is something I didn't want to this is something I wanted to prepare some more for, because it's, like I said, a lot to unpack. But I just wanted to get it over with, and today I have a bit of a headspace to do that. Whew. Anyway, I hope that you have a great week ahead of you, and enjoy the montage, if I'm gonna put it after or before before this. I don't know. We'll see how my creative process goes along with it. Bye. Thank you so much for allowing me to be myself, at least. Not that I need your permission. It's just, I appreciate you being here, and if you stayed this long in the video, comment something that you picked up or you could do to improve your mental health, as well if you're in a journey like me. So I guess this is my journey, I'll say bye. I don't know how to end. Goodbye. So I have actually got gravy. I forgot. Gravy day vlogs